Hello, welcome to the Two Chicks Homestead podcast. We are the Two Chicks. Yay!
Hi, I'm Nate.
And I'm Erin, and we talk about homesteading and living on a small piece of land.
All right, everyone, welcome to episode 16, and we're going to talk about couples.
Yep. Being married or together.
Or together, yep.
And prepping, getting into being prepared and having
running
a homestead.
Yep. You know, all the fun things that you can do.
Yep.
So, we did ask a few questions here and there of the audience in our local Facebook group that we have.
Yep, I did some crowdsourcing just to kind of get ideas on what other people go through or how they handle things. So
Yep.
We'll go over those, but I think we should probably talk about
us. Yep. So, we do pretty good together.
Yep. I think we've gone, we've always been going the same direction, just maybe not at the same pace.
Right. So I always kind of joke around that you're maybe about a year behind me.
Yeah. I come up with really good ideas a year after you've said them.
Yeah. But all things said, I think we've gotten down to like maybe a matter of weeks.
Yeah.
Now. And it's like you and I are almost on the same page, same day, ready to roll.
Yep.
And we've grown that way, but we weren't always that way.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about in the past how, with apartments and other houses that we've always grown something. We've always been somewhat interested in gardening. A lot of this other stuff was not even in our radar, I don't think.
No.
And I know when we bought our first house that wasn't in an HOA, and I said, okay, we're doing a garden. Mm-hmm. And the first thing Nate said was, well, yeah, that's anti-government. Let's do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So you were very political for a while.
Yes.
And that was your thing. That was how you wanted to do it. And
right. So I used to be the guy that would tell you get out and vote and go vote. I don't I don't care who you go vote for. Just vote for the candidate you think is right. Well, I am no longer that person, and I think I have gone a little bit down a rabbit hole, and I would say I more align with voluntarism, and that's just the way it is. So, and I know you're not all the way there yet, but you're kind of getting there.
Yeah, I think Anyway, we're not making this. This isn't going to be a political podcast, but that was a big reason why you built a garden for me was, I'm going to stick it to the man. Mm-hmm. Let's do it. That's the biggest political statement you could make sometimes. And
absolutely. And on those cucumbers that we got out of that first garden and all those tomatoes, we probably saved, say $50.
Yeah, but it sometimes isn't even about the money.
Right.
It's just doing it.
Exactly.
I mean, homesteading is not cheaper.
Oh, yeah.
But it's...
Yeah, especially when you get that $1,200 egg.
Yeah.
and anybody who owns chickens knows the story of the $1,200 egg.
But that was the greatest tasting egg I have ever tasted.
Exactly.
We've always wanted to do things for ourselves, and we both worked together. Mm-hmm. Then once we got here, I said right away, I want chickens.
Yep.
And I know you were kind of like,
I was a little apprehensive about the chickens because I had never been around them, and I
hadn't either.
I just didn't really know what to expect, nor to go, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So, we got talking about it, and it was probably a couple of months. I think you had some thought. Because I think we were talking about it in like December or January.
Yeah, I know we had my brother over and talked to him about it because he had chickens for a few years. And
right.
So
then we went to Trellis.
Yeah, we went to a very fancy feed store in Geneva.
Yes.
And we went to that chick chat or something they had and learned about, keeping chicks and stuff. So that was pretty fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And I think we came home with a free bag of feed or something.
Yeah, we won something. Yeah. So that we had to get chickens.
Right.
So yeah, I think we kind of when we made decisions, going as slow as the slowest person sometimes
Right.
is the best, no matter how impatient you are, because you can't
Rush.
force somebody
Right.
to do something, or they're just going to be like, well, fine, then do it. I don't want anything to do with it.
Right.
And I don't think you can really do a homestead with one person either not caring
No.
or just not being into it. I mean, that'd be a lot of work.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the things I was apprehensive about the chickens, but then we got them, and it's like, okay, this is pretty easy to do. You know, they kind of handle themselves. And I think when you brought up the hog, the first hog.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've talked about that before,
Right.
where I got... Oh, yeah, I saw it on the Facebook, and the lady that runs the meat market posted, anybody want a hog? We'll kill and chill, but you got to figure out, you know, what you're doing. And it was like, hey, Nate, you want to do this? Ha, ha, ha. And you were like, yeah.
Yeah, let's do
Like,
it.
oh, crap. I guess we're doing it.
But, I mean, there's no way we could have done that without each other.
Yeah.
And that was the first true, we're going to work this out and really get on
And
it.
I know we've talked about this before, but had we butchered chickens before that?
Maybe.
I can't
I would have to
remember.
go back and look.
But I mean, even that, you know, we both kind of had our roles of, you know, you did the dispatching and I did the clean out.
Right.
And it was like neither of us wanted to do the other thing. We probably should.
Yeah.
Because that's one area that I have not done yet, is the actual dispatching.
Yeah.
And I will admit that I'm not,
Yeah.
I'm just not there yet, but
anybody can do
afterwards,
it.
yeah.
And it's going to happen when you're ready to do it.
Yep. But,
So.
I mean, I know it's something that I need to do just so I can have done it, just
Right.
in case, you know, I don't know, it's that day and you got to go to work or whatever.
Or we got a
Or
chicken
there's an
outside.
injury, yeah, something.
You know, we've had the one chicken we had to put down, and then we put down the bully, and I did both of those.
Yeah,
And then we've done a few for a lady in town as well.
yeah.
So,
yeah, I mean, it's kind of finding your role.
right.
Work, you know, doing that, but then, you know, trying to branch out and...
Yeah, like my thing that I don't like doing is gardening. I will admit that does not
Yeah.
really interest me.
And the biggest thing, too, is going back to the dispatching, you would never tell me, okay, you're doing it.
No.
Like, this is it.
No.
You have to do it.
Yeah, I joke with you that I'm
Yeah.
going to make you do it.
I know.
But
Yeah, well, that's normal.
when it flat out comes down to it, I'm never going to sit there and go, you're doing this or else we're done with this animal. Because
Yeah.
that's not happening.
Yeah.
That is not how you put somebody in
The right mindset
to do it.
be good with doing it again.
Right, absolutely. I mean, it's not an easy task, and somebody has to physically be mentally prepared to do it because it's not the easiest day in the world.
Yeah.
And the second it becomes the easiest day in the world, there's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of people think that, you know, we don't have a heart because we can do this. And it's like, that's not it at all.
No.
We're doing it because we feel it's the
Right.
most humane and best way to feed our family.
Right, absolutely. And we give everybody as much attention as we possibly can. And Butcher Day is a hard day.
Yeah.
So no matter how you look at it, I don't like it, but it has to be done.
Yeah. Even the stinkiest of meat chickens, it's still, you're ready to do it because you
Yeah.
want them, you're done with them, but
Yep. Yep.
it's still a lot.
Absolutely.
But yeah, with gardening, I mean, you do a lot of the getting ready. I mean, you help me get the garden ready.
Yep.
You know, you help with, you know, I mean, kind of help with planning. I mean, we talk about it.
Right.
And just to bounce ideas off each other. You could probably care less where the tomatoes are, but, you know, it's just something to talk about.
Yeah, and I'm the one who's going to remind you that, oh, wait a minute, we planted the tomatoes here over here. We should plant them somewhere else.
Yeah.
But I'm always the one that tills the garden. I'm the one that tarps it at the end of the year when we remember to tarp it.
Yeah.
You know, that's always been what I've been involved in. You know,
Yeah.
stripping grass off the top of it. I've always been the one to do it. Tilling it up, I've always been the one to do it. Dumping the rabbit poop on top, generally it's me.
Yeah.
It's not you a whole lot. So, I don't like getting on my hands and knees and weeding. And that's one of your favorite things to do.
Yeah, not so much getting on the hands and knees anymore. I've got one of those long stick
Right.
weeders, but yeah, I could just be out there all day just weeding.
Right. It's fun for you. And
Yeah.
that's not fun for me.
Yeah, and I know one of the people I talked to said that her husband really enjoys gardening and canning as a hobby, and yet she sees it more as a need for survival. So they're both happy. I mean, they're both doing their thing, just for different reasons, but they both benefit from it in the end.
And that's perfect.
Yeah. And I mean, that's like us with canning. I enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see you doing it, but you'll still be in there with me. You'll
Absolutely. I'll hang out.
Yeah.
It's awesome when I see that stuff come out. I'm like, yeah, it might be chicken, and it might be the ugliest meat you can can, but it's really cool when it's sitting there and boiling.
Yeah, I mean that you can put this stuff on the shelf and it's
still going.
It's gonna go. Yeah.
It's still boiling like 4 hours later. And that is so cool.
Yeah. So it's really just, and then with the freeze dryer, I mean, you've helped with that. The one day I was sick.
Yeah.
You got all the meat out and packaged it up, and
it was relatively easy. I shoveled a bunch in. I might have spilled a little bit. Sorry.
I do too. I do every time.
But I mean, you got to help with each other. Like yesterday, I was down for the count with a stomach bug, and I went into work and I came home and I'd been at work for an hour, and I came home and I slept for the whole day.
Yeah.
I think I went upstairs, laid down, woke up, caught a quick podcast, went back to bed at 4:00, give or take, and I didn't get up till 5 this morning.
Yeah.
Is when I got up, and it's like I can't lay here anymore. I need to get up and do something.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I got up and I came downstairs and I played on the radio for a little while.
Yeah.
But I mean, if we're not a team, days like that are problems.
Yeah.
You got to help each other. You got to be on the same page.
Yep. It's also, trying to not let it take over someone's space.
Right.
Like there was a lady that mentioned that she liked to can and had a ton of canned foods, and her husband was getting really annoyed with, them being everywhere. So she just made another space. Like she, created this spot in the house that it could all be, and everybody was happy. So it's, I was trying to just find.
That's like what we did with all the shelving in the back. You wanted more pantry space, and I'm like, okay, I'll build it. And then you wanted a spot for the freeze dryer, so I made you a spot for a freeze dryer down in the basement.
Yeah, but it's like the ham radio. It's like, I want you to have it. I like that it's here. I didn't want it in my living room.
Right.
So you found a spot that it works, and it usually works.
Yeah.
I mean, the kids are down there sometimes.
It's better than where my original plan was, which was upstairs.
Yeah.
Because me hiding upstairs for all day.
Yeah, at least this way the kids, can go in and out of the basement and and see what you're doing, and
it's not 8:30 and 10 o'clock, 8:30 or 10 o'clock at night, and I'm upstairs playing on the radio.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. It's taking your time and talking through your plans, helping your partner if they're not into it, help them find like their passion and maybe how to help you. Like, if I want to do something but you don't, but you like to research or something, I mean, and you
Which
do.
is me.
Yeah, it's like,
I will go
hey,
down that rabbit hole.
do some research, see what you can find, stuff like that. Or if they really enjoy gardening, but not necessarily the canning, then, you just work it out.
Right, absolutely. And, we have always done that. We make sure everybody has their own little roles that they do. I mean, we've even gotten the kids involved a little bit.
Yeah.
They're now starting to go run out and get the eggs.
Yeah.
From the chickens. Mm-hmm. And the oldest has asked a little bit to kind of start helping with the rabbits. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how she does with that. Now I'm still gonna check
Yeah.
and make sure she's got everything because
Yeah.
we don't want to forget about that.
Yeah. I mean, 9 is still, you gotta kind of
Right.
follow up.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, they, like we've said before, they run around and grab all the weeds and stuff for the rabbits and the chickens. And I think if your partner isn't into it, talk to the kids. Don't go behind them
Right.
and teach them all this stuff that, they're really not agreeing with. But, I mean, just talk to the kids, like, have them help garden or something.
Right.
And maybe the other partner will go, you know what, maybe that does look kind of fun. I could do that.
Yeah. Absolutely. And don't force them to do anything. If they don't want to help you in the garden, don't push it.
Yeah. Yeah, because the more you push.
Right. It's like with our oldest. She does not want to get involved with the rabbits. She
with butchering.
Yeah, she wants to play with them, love on them, feed them, but she doesn't want any part of butcher day, which I totally get. Well, she's starting to change a little bit because we don't push her. She's getting curious.
Yeah, and she is comfortable enough that she knows we're not going to make her do something she doesn't want to.
Right, absolutely.
Another lady had said that one of the mistakes she made was her husband that finds relaxation in canning and gardening. I don't know if he was at work or, whatever, but she kind of took over and started doing it because she was panicking and didn't feel like they were doing enough. And he got like, what are you doing? This is my zone. So I think you got to talk to each other.
Right.
And bring up your worries and your anxieties and say, how can we fix this? How can we both feel like we're doing enough? And
so my biggest anxiety that I have is when you go away for a couple of days and I got to take care of the seedlings.
Take care of the seedlings?
Because I feel like I'm going to kill them and you're going to hate me that year.
The seedlings have been very finicky.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like either I'll overwater them or underwater them or I'll kill them. And it's like, I don't want to be responsible.
I am so ready to get them outside.
Yep. I like the crappy hydroponics because I can just forget about it and walk away.
We got to figure out something next year that we can put the seedling tray in the hydroponic solution.
Oh, yeah, we can.
It's because I think that would really help.
Yeah, we can do that. The biggest catch is you got to cut out the neck cup so you don't ruin the roots. But we'll figure that out.
Yeah.
I've seen a few videos on how to do it, but that'll give us something to look into next fall.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, seedlings are worse than children because you just never know when they're just gonna fall over and die.
Yeah, yeah. That is my biggest piece of anxiety every time you go out of town.
Well, luckily it's not a lot.
Right. But I also know enough not to go change something in this house, how you do it without you knowing.
Yeah.
Like if I were to go out and change the whole chicken setup or how you can everything in this house or how you have the freeze dryer set up, you'd kill me. I mean, that's neither here nor there. So
that's like the same with the rabbits. That's kind of your zone. So I wouldn't go over there and start changing up how their water is and all that stuff.
I mean, it's we have our own things, but those things work with each other.
Yeah. And it's like with the rabbits, I know what I can, feed them for, greens, and I know how to check the water if I had to. But if someone asks me, oh, tell me this specific thing about a rabbit, I would be like, I got to talk to, Nate.
And I know that stuff, but I don't know what to feed them, even though we have that list of all the greens and stuff.
Yeah, I still look at it, though.
I have no clue what they can and can't eat. I know they can eat dandelion leaves, and I know they can eat grass, and I know we give them the pellets and the hay, and that's really about it.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, rabbits, I don't know. I'm nervous about the rabbits. Because it's like they make it sound like they have such sensitive stomachs that, I don't want to kill them.
Right.
But then there are people that are like, what are you talking about? Just give them green stuff.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Well, we got a whole bunch of... what did I get? 8 pounds of seeds that we're going to plant.
Yeah.
For greens this year, so we'll have an episode coming up on that.
Yeah, on our rabbit fodder area.
Yep. So that is something we're working on.
Really, it's just a fenced-in, weeded area.
Right.
With weeds.
Which in reality was your idea to use that spot over there.
Yeah.
Which is perfect.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't even think about that, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you have a spot where you have a lot of weeds, just put a fence around it. Mm-hmm. No one will
don't
question.
mow it. Nobody's going to say anything.
You got a plan. I got a plan.
Yep. And if the cops say anything, I got a plan. We got to feed some animals.
Yep. Oh, goodness. It's fun living in the neighborhood.
At least it's not an HOA.
That's true.
So, as a couple, do you have any advice for somebody who does not want to get involved in things? Because I know there have been some things that you didn't want to get involved in, but you did it anyway.
I think it's just you get to a point where you know your partner is not going to steer you guys wrong.
Right.
And that any idea they come up with has benefits behind it. Has, good intentions behind it. Just trying to find ways to help the family, help the animals, help, whatever. So I think it just gets to a point where you don't think they're crazy as much.
Right.
You start to think, okay, why are they bringing this up? How is it going to help the family?
Right, absolutely. And my biggest piece of advice for somebody who doesn't want to get involved. So guys, if your significant other does not want to get involved, you can mention your plans, but don't hit it every day. Say it once, shut the hell up, walk away, let it sit there, and then revisit it in maybe a month or two, maybe 6 months. But don't hit it, because eventually they're going to come around. And that's how I've kind of worked on you a little bit.
Yeah.
Is some of this stuff, I know you're not keen on it. The rabbits, I knew you were not.
Yeah, I dismissed that immediately when you brought that up.
I know you did.
And now it's like, can we double it?
Right. But I mean, that was probably 3 months before we got that rolling.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just kind of like one of those things where it was like, what? We're going to eat rabbits? Like, nobody does that.
Right. And then I let it be, and I think I brought it up to you about a month or so later, and I said, what do you think?
And I think I started out with, well, if you do it, if you want to do it, then do it.
Yep.
And then I will be as involved as I want as we got into it.
Yep.
And it's still kind of like that.
Yep, absolutely. I'm not going to force you to do anything in it, but I think that is the first and only thing that has actually worked out of any of my plans.
Well, yeah, you've had some plans.
Some plans that have not worked out.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, that's the biggest piece of advice I can give anybody. Just take your time.
Yeah, and I think the ham radio was a big one too. Like me getting my license, and it's like for a long time I didn't see any reason why I should get it, and I'm still working into it. But I think you cheerleading and talking about how awesome it is that I got it was like one of those things where it was like, okay,
yeah,
I can do this.
Yeah, I mean, it's a ham radio license is nothing to shake a stick at. So the fact that you got your technician with your background of nothing electrical and figuring it out, I have to give you props for that.
So I mean, that's another thing that could help is any little thing that they do that is more towards the path that you want to take. Tell them good job. Tell them tell everybody how proud you are of them, and
I walked outside and I look at the garden and it's like, holy cow, this is amazing. Good job. I see those, last year we had those 12-foot tall sunflowers.
Yeah.
that is amazing. The amount of seeds we got out of that.
Yeah.
Just to feed the chickens and reseed.
Yep.
I mean, that's... And then we had the... what was that? The
gem corn.
Gem corn.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
That was really cool.
I mean,
And it was just something silly, like just to hang as decor. But it was like...
Right.
I grew that. Like, those things are expensive.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. But the fact that we got it and we helped each other do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that garden that we did that with is in our neighbor's property. I don't know, how far would you say that is from here?
It's probably 100 yards.
So, I mean, we had to go out there and weed and get that little garden ready and plant and go out and check. I mean, and we were always out there.
Yeah.
Looking. And anytime you went out there, you were looking. If you were just, going over there for whatever reason.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we are always over that area.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just working together. Even when it's not like your thing, it's still neat to go, wow, look at what we just did.
Yeah, absolutely.
Try and help your partner. Don't be pushy.
Yep.
But, let them know that this works better together.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that, having one person do all this stuff and that you're doing it for the benefit of your family.
Right. And you're working together, and that's how a marriage should be.
Yeah. And then get them to read the Going Home book.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you just read the first one. You're going to start the second one.
Yeah. So that's the Going Home series by Angry American, who was just on Tim the Tool Man's Workshop Live.
Yeah.
So we can post a link to that.
Yep.
And, yeah, I mean, just that book alone.
Yeah. I was sicker than a dog yesterday, and I actually got out of bed to come downstairs so I could watch that.
It was really good.
It was. I think it was like almost 2.5 hours of him chatting up.
So my oldest just turned 9, and I have not read a book cover to cover since she was born.
Yeah.
And this is the first book I have finished, and it was like a month and a half I think it took me. And that's I've been trying to read books, and I just get so tired of them, or I can't concentrate or whatever, but this was a very good one.
Yeah.
So I've already got the second one in order.
Yep. So there's 11 total books so far in the Going Home series. If you can, get them on Amazon, read them. It's pretty much about a EMP that goes off, and Morgan, the main character, is 250 miles away from home and has to get home. So that's what the Going Home is.
Yep.
So,
but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of neat information about how his family is doing because they were both.
Yep. Because he was a prepper, one of those crazy tinfoil hat preppers, but he had the stuff and the skills and the knowledge to get home to his family. And his family had the skills, the knowledge, and the equipment to survive.
So you could do a quick read together.
Yeah. It's a very good book.
All right. Well, I think that's about it this week.
We will catch you guys next time.
All right. See you on the homestead, where something is always growing, eating, or cooking.